the outrage of the straws. The straws that are plaguing this planet, destroying and killing it. Every hour that goes by, there are billions of straws being released and into the waters, into the atmosphere. You're breathing in straws. It's worse than a drug. Um, Starbucks, Disney, McDonald's, Hyatt, and the what city? Santa Barbara, uh,
Santa Barbara, yeah.
Santa Barbara County, all banning straws and supporting the notion of Starbucks and other companies to make lids. Well, in particular, Starbucks uh, is making a
Their
lid.
redesign is great.
They're redesigning a lid. They've got a lid out. This is fantastic. It solves the whole straw problem immediately. Um, that takes 3 times more plastic to make than a straw.
It's basically a lid with a built-in straw,
so
and
so that's their
yeah,
solution. The other companies' other solutions are to make them out of paper, which I don't know if anybody's ever tried a paper straw. I did whenever I was gone overseas, and you can't drink a damn thing, especially if it's a slush. You can't drink a. It disintegrates. You
it disintegrates
eventually
before you're finished with your drink.
you're drinking the straw. I mean, it's
Hmm.
it's just Justin has a straw in front of him right now. Well, sir, you're done for. That's it. Look at this. I've got a straw in front of me too. Oh no! Oh, the straw. um,
By the way,
it,
here's an
going to
interesting
the
something that I missed the first time around.
going to the misdemeanor thing
Seattle.
too.
I'm sorry. Okay.
But go into
I'll say this and
Seattle
then I'll.
first.
Right. Well, Seattle was actually the first major city in the country to ban plastic straws earlier this month, fining businesses up to $250 per offense. I didn't know that until today. Jumping back to Santa Barbara, Santa Barbara, apparently it's only a proposed ordinance at the moment. I I don't guess they've actually voted to pass it yet, but this is what they're trying to do. Proposed ordinance discussed earlier this month would ban restaurants, bars, and supermarkets from providing their customers with plastic straws, cutlery, and stirrers.
Cutlery and stirs.
Cutlery. The stirrer I could
The
probably live
stir.
without, but cutlery. You're going to ban cutlery in a restaurant that's made out of plastic. Um,
They
they
don't even
said
ban
that.
cutlery and stirs on a plane. Do you know that? I
Hmm.
had cutlery and a
Well,
stir for our coffee on the plane. I mean, it's just
how could they? You need cutlery for some food items. You can't just unless you're going to be like an animal, just eat it with your hands.
uh
But it says the proposed ordinance in Santa Barbara, citing from Chapter 1.28 from the city's municipal code, if anyone wants to look that up, would begin with a warning, good on them, but then it would escalate to a fine not exceeding $1,000, imprisonment, imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months. And I just noticed it doesn't say or. So they might fine you and imprison you. I don't know.
I just
I don't think they know either because the same article says they're not planning on enforcing it. If you're not going to enforce it, then why are you trying to pass it? None of this makes sense.
oh my god. And I just love the memes that are coming up with it. Like there's a video, it's like an episode of Cops and they're like arresting a guy and it's all normal, like you would see a normal arrest on Cops and they're like "Sir, what is this?" And he's sitting in the back seat of the car. And they're like, he's like, "I don't know. It's just, I had it in the back seat." And they're like, this is massively illegal. You're going, this is not okay at all. And then they cut to the a bag of straws on the back of the cop car. They've got, how
Created
we
a little
have,
baggie of bendy straws.
we've got a flag that says "Come and take it," with the cannon on it, the Texas,
Mm-hmm.
old Texas flag. There's a bendy straw
Mm-hmm.
meme with that on there. Come and take it. um, it's just, I love it. It's so funny. Um,
Okay, let me say to be clear on this point, I realize that pollution is a problem and I'm against pollution. And if there's a good solution to it, I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear what we can do in place of plastic straws. But all of their proposed solutions, number one, are terrible. And number two, verify this if you like, but I have heard that the number they give, what is it, like 500 million straws per day dumped in the ocean? I have heard that that came from a 9-year-old boy doing a school report that called a couple of straw companies, heard how many they made, and basically extrapolated the data. Like, if there's this many made per year, this many must end up in the ocean, and went from there. In other
yeah,
words, it's a highly questionable figure, but that didn't stop the major news outlets from just running with it. Well, what did we just say? They heard it, so they reported it. And now it's common knowledge, even though it's probably not true.
um, Justin says, "How about we just go back to the Dark Ages and don't use anything except what we make ourselves? That might be a good solution." Oh my god.
You mean like carry your drinks around in a sheep bladder?
um, straws aren't the only thing is made out of plastic. I just want to throw that out there, like, you know.
Everything is made out of everything's either made out of plastic or petroleum, which, hey, guess what?
how many
That's
how many
it's
times
the
do they
same
say that
base.
the water bottles that they every year could wrap around the earth like 3 times, but nobody bitches about that? Um,
I've heard some pushes to reuse water bottles and things like that, but they certainly didn't gain the kind of traction that the anti-straw movement has.
I'm all for a reasonable solution. I'm not for making it a misdemeanor. What are you in for? I I sold a straw for somebody. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, no, I
I,
agree.
I gave a straw to a customer.
Now again, like I said earlier with Ocasio-Cortez, I'm not running for public office because I don't have the answers, so I'm not going to try to pretend I do. But
There's a better
off the
answer
top of my
than
head,
that. I mean,
yeah, off the top of my head, I would say, why not put all that time and effort and money, because it's taking money to, push against this as well. Why not take all of that and contribute more towards pro recycling programs? And, even if you want to make it make it a minor misdemeanor, like fine them a little bit if they don't recycle their straws, fine. But yeah, the idea of $1,000 per offense, like every time you hand out a straw, it's so ridiculous we can't take it seriously.
well, uh, Justin says you can drink tap water, unless you live in Flint,
True.
Michigan. I agree with that.
Also true. Can't drink it everywhere, so it's not a universal solution.
I love how San Francisco is following the suit of banning plastic straws, but they don't ban the massive amounts of feces that people are just going around and shitting on the sidewalks and the streets and the
I was about to
bums.
ask,
And
isn't that the city where they found a 20-pound bag of human feces left on the corner a couple of weeks ago?
oh my god.
I think it was San Francisco. I damn well know it was a 20-pound bag of human feces because I'll never forget that after I read it. That's burned into my mind forever. Residents were quoted as saying that the smell was horrific. It's like, well, no kidding. It's 20 pounds of shit in a bag on the corner. Oh.
This article from Business Insider says, so why pick on straws? The Texas A&M
Mm-hmm.
graduate Christine uh, Fig Figner uh,
Mm-hmm.
happened to be tagging some sea turtles as part of her research in Costa Rica, and she noticed something encrusted in the nose of one of the male turtles. We thought it might be a parasite or something living on in him. The team soon figured out what it actually was. A plastic straw in his nose.
Hmm.
Oh my god. So,
Well, see,
a
that's
turtle has a
that's sad.
straw in his nose, so it's all straws. It
I
is
mean, that
sad. I mean,
it's sad, and like I said, we do need to do better as far as recycling and not polluting, but the solution is not this overreach that they're going for. Um,
well, all I can say
well, I mean,
is if you're
here's
a
something.
company making straws, you are losing.
Here's something from John Yu, Hiller. Let's see, Hiller professor. Excuse me, Heller professor law at UC Berkeley School of Law and a Fox News contributor. Described the ordinance, Santa Barbara ordinance, as silly. He says Santa Barbara's silly environmental policies demonstrate the misgovernment of California cities. Violent crime and property crime in the state are rising. The homeless are making our streets increasingly unsafe. Instead of addressing these basic public safety problems, cities like Santa Barbara are sending the police off to chase soda drinkers who like to use straws. And see, that's it. Is yes, pollution is a problem, but there might be bigger problems. Like you mentioned
No,
San Francisco.
no, there's no bigger
Is San
problem.
Francisco not also well, is San Francisco not also the city with like tons of dirty hypodermic needles everywhere?
Yes, needles, feces. They are a
Sounds like
massive
a lovely
sanctuary
city.
city. They are full of homeless people all over the place. It's one of the most expensive cities you can possibly try to afford to buy a house to live in, let alone an apartment. Um,
Well, you
it's
can see
getting
why though. As I said, it's such a
shittier and
lovely city,
shittier by the day, and it just continues to do
literally.
that. San Francisco, Justin, that's you might want to look that up. It's a horrible, horrible city. What they've done to it. Used to be a really nice city, but California happened to it. So
What happened? California.
California, yes. I think we'll just
That's the
start
answer.
saying that. Like, what happened to that person? California.
California
Yeah,
works for me.
yeah.